a few different items in the events pile. I want to start here because the very first Game of Thrones dedicated convention is coming to Los Angeles December 9th through the 11th. This week it was announced that Kit Harington is going to be a guest, along with the previously announced members of the cast, Alfie Allen, Jackie Gleason, Christian Narn, Gemma Whelan, among others. Hosts for the events will be Greta Johnson and Jason Concepcion, who are going to be hosting a new official podcast for the new series House of the Dragon. The website, gotcon.com. We'll have a link to that in our notes. And Mrs. Boss is standing by. She's got some events because we actually added to the list this week. Good morning.
Good morning. And yes, we did add to the list. It was one of those things I kind of just was doing one project with our events and fell into this literally because I was updating our calendar because I want to make sure at least the calendar is up to date, if anything. But so I will sit there and say there are a lot of one particular companies. So I'm gonna kind of just go through where these are all located because it'll be a little bit faster. So out in California, they do a lot of single-day comicons throughout the Valley, Northern California as well. So they are located in these are the Toy Anime Comic Cons. So we've got them in Antioch, California, Tracy, California, Salinas, California, Castro Valley, California, Auburn, Elk Grove, Blue Lake, Hanford, Madera. Got more? Santa Nella, Pacifica, Yuba City. And then leaving California, we've got Spartanburg Comic Con in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Quantum Con in Plymouth, Minnesota. So that brings our total now to 2,481. 19 more to go, guys. And we can hit that nice round 2,500 mark. Now, yes, it can vary a little bit because I am going through and making sure that all 2,481 events are current. Even with the last couple years, I'm giving a little wiggle room because a lot of them are still trying to figure out how to navigate this post-lockdown world, especially since a lot of the funding that they normally would be able to carry over hasn't been there. So there's wiggle room. I'm not being completely mean about it, but looking for the obvious signs that they still have some breathing happening with them. But it is hard work, and I do love the feedback that I get from people who go to conventions, people who run conventions, people who promote conventions. And I really want to stress, keep helping me out because I will share the love and make sure everybody knows about your event. Send us an email, events@sci-fi4me.com, or shoot something to us on one of the many platforms that we are on. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter. Shoot us a message, drop in just post it on our walls or whatever. But we will definitely make sure. It doesn't matter how little you are or how big you are. We want to make sure that everybody knows about your event. So yeah.
So there we are. We're almost there.
19 guys.
19 away.
We can do this.
Just crawling towards that number. Well, and it's one of those things where a lot of times we'll, like you said, we're in the middle of doing something else. And oh, hey, here's this thing, and we're finding stuff on Facebook, we're finding stuff on Twitter, announcements, dates and whatnot that get posted over on Instagram.
Well, and it's like this Ohana here, the company that does these in California. And I was talking to Mr. Boss about this, that you may look on our list and see that, oh, well, wait, they already have a Los Banos Toy Anime Comic Con. But this one here is where yes, they're still going to have that Los Banos at some point in the year because I'm going through their calendar. But it's also, they've combined it with another smaller town and pulling the people from the Los Banos area to like the Santanella area so that they can do it. But they are still two separate events.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I really like about this particular group that I've seen. And I've seen it with some other ones, so don't get me wrong here, but this is the more obvious one because it's a little bit larger, is that they do sit there and, well, maybe we can't pull a straight up one right now here, so let's try to grab a few others and put them together.
And I think we're seeing a number of events combine efforts, kind of pool their resources a little bit in order to survive, because you're having to do that kind of thing and make those adjustments post pandemic. So yeah, it's something that we try to stay on top of here, and of course Mindy's also monitoring and maintaining the calendar that we have over there on the .com. So if you go to the conventions tab, there is a Google Calendar embedded in that, and that's something where you can check schedule and see if it's on there. And we want to make sure that we've got all of our links right and everything's listed. So
and definitely make sure that you are consistently checking up on it. You may sit there and like, oh, that's happening this week, this weekend coming up, and it may be Monday. Double check on Thursday, because even if like this weekend, even though it was Friday, I was still adding an event for this weekend for anybody who's still coming and looking.
Oh.
And so it is a constant, just double check last minute update thing, because you never know what you might find.
Yeah. And as part of that, one of the other things that Mindy does is track the weather, and we bring that to you every weekend to help you plan if you're going to be traveling to these various different events. So here is the forecast for next weekend.
Good Morning Multiverse, Saturday morning at 11, 10 Central, only on Sci-Fi for Me TV.